Hello traders, this is CloudChartist with your daily Ichimoku wrap-up from the October 16th candle last Friday. This is Sunday night. I'm doing this video right now. So let me zoom in a little bit. Looking at this candle on CL, zoom in even more. We see that we got a close inside the cloud, so neutral in Ichimoku terms. And inside between the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen, I'll just zoom in a little bit more so you can see that. It's a hammer type candle after a hammer type candle previously and confirming the reversal to the upside after this downtrend completed, marked by this potential reversal candle and then reversal confirmed with a higher high and a higher low. So we're inside between the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen right now in neutral territory. So we're going to trade in a range until we break above the Tenkan-sen, which is currently located at 48.08, or below the Kijun-sen, which is at 47.26. If we want to change from neutral to bullish, we need to break above the cloud, and that will happen at around 48.36 here. We do have a interesting shaped cloud. The cloud is moving lower and becoming thinner. So if we follow the shape of the cloud and price action remains inside the cloud, we could expect maybe the Tenkan-sen to offer resistance here, and then we can move lower, perhaps test the bottom of the cloud down here at 44.76, and then move sideways inside this cloud here. That's one possible scenario that the cloud would outline. Then we have a cloud twist. In cloud twists, oftentimes it's real easy for price action to break down through to the downside, so we could move lower here, or we could also move higher, as it seems like we can't see a lot of it, but it looks like the cloud is moving higher in the future. That's not going to happen until the beginning of November, so we'll just worry about what's going on right here now. So we have, this, as I mentioned, this range between the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen, and in neutral territory for now, but in uptrend. And that's about all I have to say for crude. Let's look at the ES. ES, I drew some fibs and posted them on Twitter, and I will load those fibs so you can see those. Boom. I think those are correct. Yep. Let me zoom out a little bit. I'll show you how I draw fibs. I like to draw fibs without including the spikes. Generally, especially on trading vehicles that tend to overshoot. So I like to use the real candle body. So I drew this fib from 21.2250 down to this candle close low here at 18.7050, and I found that the 61.8, which is always a very important fib, off the lows from high to low, 61.8 fib bounce, and also you notice that the lows of where this very bearish drop back in August reversed from are the same approximately, basically, as where the very slightly slower drop, but to the same level where we reversed previously. So we see that the 61.8 fib at 20.26.24 is exactly where we closed the market on Friday. Actually, 1 penny off. We closed at 20.26.25. So that's real important. That also happens to coincide with being the high off this candle, or the open of this candle, 20.26.25, after this drop from the cloud. So out of this drop from being neutral to being bearish, we then bounced to that level and sold off from there. So it's obviously an important level, this 20.26.25 level. So whether or not we'll move higher or lower, I can't tell you, but overall in Ichimoku terms, this chart is bullish. Price action is over the cloud. Looks like a nice pullback to breakout pattern setup to me, which is we have a strong uptrend, then we got a small pullback to support, and then we're breaking out higher. That's what it looks like is occurring. Whether we move higher or not, we'll find out. If we do move higher, I don't see a lot of resistance until perhaps you know, the 2075 area. And then we get back into this prior, let me zoom out a little bit, prior consolidation area. After that, above that, I would say, you know, this 2068 area looks significant. There are, you know, several candles in that general area also, if we're just looking at basic horizontal resistance. 78.6 fib from the way I draw fibs, which you may or may not think is interesting. If we do trade lower from here, we can expect to potentially find support around 1996.50, the 50% fib, or the Tenkan-sen, which is slightly below that at 1993.50. I have a good feeling that when the new daily candle opens up, when the market opens later this evening, that this Tenkan-sen will be higher. It might even be, because reflecting this strong upward momentum, it might even be, well, we'll see, maybe it'll be around 2000. So if we do get a pullback, then the Tenkan-sen will offer support at wherever it's located when it reopens. And then we also have support at the top of the cloud if we continue to sell, if we do go lower around 1979.50 thereabouts. But bullish, we have, you know, a pretty thin cloud offering support here, but we'll deal with that if we need to in the future. Let's look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is bullish on the daily time frame, similar to the ES. You know, was an uptrend, got a slight pullback, got a nice bounce off the Tenkan-sen, and is moving higher into this. You can see this prior resistance area coming into play here from back here, back in the July-August area. So if we move higher, we can see one limiting factor might be the Chikou, this red line here representing price time shifted 26 periods into the past, so 26 days. And you get what I mean by time shifted. If you were to count these candles, there's 26 candles here between where the Chikou is and current price. So if we do move higher, the Chikou is going to run into the cloud here, bottom of the cloud around 45.0875. So that could be a limiting factor to upmove. That's obviously a very important level, right? You see a lot of stuff, a lot of prior support at that in this area, the 45.0875 level. So I would say that's where, pretty likely where NASDAQ is headed next. Let's look at the Russell. Russell is neutral in Ichimoku terms. It's inside the cloud. If we move higher, we're going to have resistance at the top of the cloud at 1172.80. If we move lower, we could potentially find support at the bottom of the cloud, which is around 1148.70. And then if we do move lower again, the Tenkan-sen, wherever the new Tenkan-sen opens up, might be pretty much in the same place as we basically had a small pullback rather than continuing the up move. So it could actually even flatten out. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Tenkan-sen flatten out after this price action. This is a bull cross here, but it's not that significant because it's under the cloud. The Chikou is pretty tangled up here. It seems to be actually, however, finding. Let's see. I can even see where the Chikou should. Let me zoom in a little bit so I can see where the Chikou is. Alright, the Chikou is right here. That's interesting. Well, the Chikou is slightly under the Kijun-sen here and sort of running into this candle, so chances are it's going to not have a problem with getting back over the Chikou. I mean the Kijun-sen if we move higher. Alright, moving back out. Let's move on to the Dow. Dow is looking pretty bullish. Looks like a nice breakout like the ES. So similar parameters. We have prior resistance in the 17, 13, 12 area you can see from this consolidation. So and if we do move higher to the point where the Chikou runs into the cloud, that's going to be all the way up here at 17,590, so I don't think that's going to happen in one day, but it could happen in several days. And in fact, as we move forward in time, we have this flat area in the cloud, and flats often attract in Ichimoku, and that's at around 1755, 555, 17555, something like that, 17560. All right, let's look at the gold. See that gold is looking like a potential pullback to breakout setup. This is a good way for me to explain one of my classic setups, pullback to breakout setup. That is when price action is in a strong uptrend. We get a potential reversal candle, usually based on overbought, and you see that if you look at the RSI down here, we did have, it's not going to let me move it for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. We did get pretty close to overbought here. So now we're pulling back. Potentially we could tag the Tenkan at 1163.10 and move higher. If we don't maintain a close over the Tenkan, then we could come down and trade down to the Kijun-sen below at 1144.70. Of course, those levels will change as the Tenkan and Kijun-sen levels change, but for now, gold is still bullish and potentially is actually still in an uptrend, because even though we got a reversal type candle, we didn't get a confirmed reversal because this is an inside candle from that. So we're still in an uptrend. We need to get a lower high and a lower low in order to confirm the reversal lower. I think that's probably likely to happen pretty soon. Let's look at silver. Silver is just in a big flag pattern over the Tenkan at 1578.5, opening, offering potential support if we do get a pullback towards it. We're a bit overextended above the cloud and above the Tenkan and the Kijun-sen on silver. If we come down and test the Tenkan, the Chikou could also maybe potentially find support at cloud, but that's going to be continuing lower, so that's not particularly bullish. But overall price action is still bullish. We have a very thin cloud below. Usually when we have a cloud like this, that is going to suggest a tighter range of trading ahead. So we'll see. It's important to just keep an eye on that 15.785 level, or wherever the Tenkan opens up, to see where we go from here for silver. Let's look at some bonds. Looking at the 30-year Treasury bond, we see that we had a very bullish uptrend, which ended with a reversal lower, but not a trend reversal, as we didn't make a new lower low yet. But then Friday's candle actually put in a lower high and a lower low, so the trend is now currently down for ZB. And ZB is looking to find support potentially at the Tenkan at 157.25. If we lose that level, the 157.25, then ZB could head towards the Kijun-sen down here at 156.06, and then potentially come back to the cloud. So that is, 155.19, and then moving lower as we move through the week. Let's look at the 10-year. Same situation with the 10-year. The reversal of the primary trend is lower, although the chart is overall bullish because price action is over the cloud. Expect potential test of support at the Tenkan at 128.285. In fact, I was waiting for that on Friday and hoping that would happen. It didn't happen. I've been trying to get that 128.285 level for the last 2 days since this downtrend started. But so we'll see if that happens. Tonight or Monday. If we do lose that 128.285 level, then we will be put into this trading range between the Tenkan and the Kijun-sen. When the Tenkan and the Kijun-sen are both flat and moving sideways like this, oftentimes we just get some sideways consolidation between the two until price breaks back out through the top or lower through the bottom. Let's get some grains. Corn barely held on to the cloud, but did manage to hold on to the cloud on Friday as it bounced back inside the cloud and put a close inside the cloud. So that offers a little bit of hope for people who want to be bullish on corn, but we do have resistance at the Kijun-sen above, and we also have resistance for the Chikou. Let me zoom in a little bit, make it easier to see. Chikou is going to find resistance at the Kijun Sen here at 379.67. So that's sort of where this candle found resistance also. And then the Kijun Sen above at 382.13. So, but it's neutral in the daily time frame anyway. Forget soybeans. Pardon my neighbor's barking dog, if you can hear it in the background. The bane of my existence. So we see in Ichimoku terms that soybeans are bearish as we've lost the cloud and heading for potential support of the Tenkan Sen below at 895.63. If it does continue lower, which there's no reason to think that it won't, given these candles. And then if we do not manage to hold this level on a closing basis, we can expect to potentially test the Kijun Sen down here at 886.50. Or it's possible that we continue to hold the cloud, which is at 897.87, say, thereabouts. So keep an eye on that level as well. If we do hold the cloud, then we can perhaps expect some sideways action, but you notice that the cloud goes lower, so even if we hold the cloud over the next week or so, price action could go lower but remain neutral in Ichimoku terms. Let's go wheat. Wheat heading for the bottom of the cloud here. Found some buying support before it got to the bottom of the cloud, but still in a pretty strong downtrend. If we do move lower, we'll have support for wheat at 486.88 at the bottom of the cloud here. We do have resistance currently at the Tenkan Sen above at 510.63 for wheat. Let's look at bean oil. Bean oil just moving, oscillating sideways, but trying to find support at the Tenkan Sen here, although, let's see, the Tenkan Sen is 28.63 and we closed just a hair, one tick underneath it, so that can be very important. Just a hair under could be the difference, so we could move lower from here. If we do, the Chikou right here, the red line representing price time shifted 26 periods in the past, could find support at the Kijun Sen here. So we might even only go as low as 28.32, which is, you see these candles also found support at that level. In fact, let's see, the low 28.31 here, the low 28.30 here. So that's obviously an important level, this 28.30 level. So keep an eye on that one. And then the bottom of the cloud here at 27, let's call it 27.82. Let's look at oats. Oats reversed and lost the cloud, so went from neutral after this nice uptrend to back to bearish. If we do continue lower for oats, you can expect potential for support at 225 thereabouts down below at the confluent area of the Kijun Sen and the Tenkan Sen. Let's look at the dollar. The dollar bouncing off the lows. So that was, let's see, this was Wednesday when we put in this very bearish candle. Got some tweezer bottoms on the new Thursday candle, and we've been in an uptrend ever since. If we continue the uptrend, we can expect to find resistance at the Tenkan Sen at 95.05 above, or wherever the new Tenkan Sen opens up. And then if we move higher beyond that, we have resistance at the Kijun Sen above, currently at 95.35, and then the cloud at 95.47, let's say. The Chikou, the Kijun Sen and the Tenkan Sen will change their position, but the cloud is going to remain the same. And let's just look at coffee, and I'll wrap it up. Coffee, we see we finally, made a bullish break over the cloud. We're unable to get over this pivotal, important 135 level, obviously, and started selling off. Lost the support of the Tenkan Sen here in this very bearish drop on Friday. Traded back under the Kijun Sen, but did find support at the cloud here. So we'll see moving forward. Also, the Chikou span found support at the bottom of the cloud here, also as well at the 125.28 level. Let's see, the close was 125.45, yeah. So technically we're in neutral territory for coffee. So we could trade anywhere between, I would expect us that unless we lose the cloud, that we'll trade inside the cloud, say between 124.75 and 127.68. And the market's about to open, so thank you for joining me, and good luck trading this week. And if you're interested in my work or joining my chat room, I do have a $20 trial for a week. You can check that out at CloudChartist.com. Thank you very much.